Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 77. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday Motivation and Inspiration, and we're up to the letter T today. And the letter T is for time. Everything takes time. And a quote for you: everything valuable takes time. There are no overnight successes. It's true. Can't lie about that. Um, there's a video um, by one of my favorite entrepreneurs, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about how really there's no overnight success, and it's a load of crap, to put it in nicer terms. That people go, "Oh my goodness, I achieved all this success and all this other stuff," and it's not reality. So there are no overnight successes, and I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but everything takes time. And along with the time, you have to have patience, energy, effort, drive, dedication, discipline, and so many other words. Now, there's honestly no getting around it. Now, I wish I can tell you that I published my first book and then boom, there I was, successful as hell. But I'm not. And I'm deep into this whole thing, and still the results aren't as expected, right? Right. But I am starting to achieve a little bit more success with a couple of things that I have been doing. And one of the major things is my books. Some of my books are in a bookstore where I live. So that's kind of changing the realm of things. But that's another story for another time. And I do count my blessings that I was able to get my books into a bookstore. Anyway, now, I've tried so many different things, obviously, and I've invested so much money. But like I said, the change that I made when I moved to the city that I'm currently in was to put my books in a bookstore. Now, I get entrenched in this world where there are millions of books on different bookstore platforms. And, you know, the question is do your books stand out? And depending on the category and what you're writing in, sometimes they do stand out, but sometimes they don't. Now, I write in a different format. You guys know that I focus on social issues, and they're more character driven, and they have a journalistic feel to them and all that stuff, right? Now, you would think, wow, that's great. It's different. It's an interesting concept and all that other stuff. But the reality of it is that none of this is easy. It's the same thing with me in this podcast, same thing with my blogs, all of that stuff. What I'm trying to say is it's hard to be patient when you've done so much work, you've put in so many hours, and you're still not seeing the results that you want. Now, I'm a few years into my writing journey, so imagine how many other people have been doing the same thing or doing what they love for so many years and still haven't seen the results. Now, trust me, I can say that you're cut out for it and tell you that you got to keep going. And sometimes it's going to take 10 years to achieve success. Sometimes it's going to take 5 years. It just all depends. But there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody as a writer, as an artist, as a creator, as a businesswoman, a businessman, whatever it is, there's room for everyone to achieve greatness. There's room for everyone to do great. It's just everything takes time. It's a journey and it's a marathon. And I've spoken about that in the past. It's not a race, it's a marathon. If you want to win the race, that's great. But if you want to win the marathon, which is the long journey, then you will achieve the success that you need. And there will be a longevity aspect of it if you're going down the road of focusing on the marathon. Now, time can be our best friend, but it also can be our worst enemy because you don't know how your life's going to go from day to day. Now, if you die tomorrow, well, it's unfortunate. It's kind of the same thing with me. Like if I was to die tomorrow, there would be probably maybe about 30 books that never get published. Not saying I've written 30 ahead of time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's probably another 30 books in me that I've got to write and publish and get out to the masses. And there's all these stories are very, very, very important to me. But I want to tell you guys to like be patient in the process. Every little thing that you do every day, whether you work 30 minutes in a day, you work an hour or 2 hours, whatever time that you're putting into what you're doing, it's going to get you to where you want to be. And that's what I had to learn for myself. I had to sit back and say to myself, okay, all of the things that you're doing is going to get you to where you want to be. I don't care for $50 million, anything like that. I just like blurting that out as a number. It's just fun for me to do it. But for me, and probably for a lot of you, it's about being financially stable for the rest of your lives and not having to really worry about your finances. It's more about having the time to do all of the things that you want to do, which is probably creating more or running your business or traveling or owning a nice home or driving the car that you've always wanted. So that's the journey part of it. A lot of great people who do great things in this world and they achieve all of this success. A lot of it is grit. A lot of it is grind. A lot of it is, bad investments. I've made quite a few, and I've said them in previous podcasts. I won't even tell you all the dumb investments I've made, but um, it's all trial and error. It's all a learning process. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, and just know that your guardian angels are around you. They're there to help you. They're there to get you to where you want to be, and just have the right spirit and the right attitude on a day-to-day basis, and know that everyone's time comes. Everyone has their day. Everyone finds what they're looking for. Everyone achieves the greatness that they want to achieve. And whatever amount of money you want, hey, go for it. If it's $1 million, great. If it's 5 million, 10 million, if it's 40, if it's, $500,000, whatever it is, set that as a goal and go after it and achieve it. Now, for me, I've never really sat and said, okay, this is the amount of money that I want and all that. Like, I'm not thinking about it in those terms. I'm thinking about it as I want to impact people, I want to help people, but I also want to be financially stable and have someone in my life to where I can share my successes with, and she can share her successes with me, and we can both collaborate and create some great things. So that is more important to me than a certain amount of money that I would want in order to personify my success. I feel that I am already successful because I've already started my journey. And just know that you become successful the moment you decide that you're going to go after what you want in your life. And just know that you don't need to look at your watch every time you're working on something. Just completely eliminate the distractions and make sure that you have the right people in your circle that are going to be there for you and are going to support you. And down the road, I am going to have a podcast where I am going to speak on the fact that the majority of people that are going to support you are going to be strangers. They're not going to be the people that are in your inner circle. But that's another story for another time. So what I will say is that your time is coming. I know my time is coming. This is why I do Wednesday Motivation and Inspiration. And I know that with all of the content that I've created, by the time people figure out, oh, where have I been? How come I've never seen Jamel? Then it's, well, they've got to play catch up. So just think, the more things you create, the more content you do, the more things that you keep putting out. Just think, there's going to be so much time of people trying to catch up with all that you've been doing. Remember that. So don't feel that just because you've created like 3 or 4 pieces of content, you're good. Like, wouldn't you rather achieve success with 10 things that you have out? So there's 10 things for people to focus on instead of 2 or 3. Then it becomes more pressure for you to focus on the next thing. See where I'm going with that? So just know, time is on your side, but then it kind of isn't in a way. So What I want to tell you is do the work and the results will show when the time is right. So, with that said, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all the listens. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.